Welcome to Soapbox Beta episode 4? 4? 3? 4? I feel like the Count from Sesame Street. Episode 1! No, we're up to episode 3, and this is being recorded on today's Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. You know, I don't know what day Saturday is anymore now that they don't do cartoons. Anyhow, Saturday, April 9th, 2016. This is your source for people who care about the issues of our planet. That's actually a tagline that our producer wrote, and I think it's actually a very nice one, and I'm going to commit it to memory and have it engraved on my headstone.
Rest in peace.
Me, no, I will not rest in peace. I will come back, chains clanking and everything, you know. Anyhow, I'm Ardail Smith, and I'm actually from Germany. I was born in Germany, and it's hard to tell because I dye my hair. And I've got with me my co-host, Charles Hall.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I guess all I want to do is help you bring out your whole health through imagination and self-reflection. But this isn't a Disney movie, so if you're looking for that, I'm sorry.
Hey, when you said all I want to do, in my mind was I heard you say all I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Just try to keep it hip.
I know, I was going to make a comment about that.
Hip to the 1980s.
Just trying to keep my hip intact. Don't fall. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I'm getting up there, you know. I could fall and break a hip.
Well, so could I. I could break my hip too.
Yeah, I think mine would break easier, you know, because it starts turning chalky when you get to be around my age. You know. Charles has got some good topics today. Charles, what topics you going to be talking about today?
Well, I'm going to be talking about mobility and then behavioral change, and if we get into it, and I understand if we don't, and we're going to get into chocolate, which I know a lot of people want to hear more and more and more and more and more about chocolate. Can't get enough about chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate.
Yeah, that's great. Talk about the chocolate. I'm a freaking diabetic. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
Well, no, you'll find out that doesn't matter.
Okay. I guess it's the added sugar that makes it bad.
Yeah.
For me.
For you.
Okay, so last week on this show, we talked a little bit about the NYPD officers that arrested the I always want to say UPS driver, but he's a United States Postal Service employee while delivering packages. Remember that, Charles?
Yep, I remember that.
I brought it up to my post person. I wanted to say postman, but it's actually a woman. Our post person, I asked her, you know, what her thoughts were on this, and it was kind of amazing. She said, "I didn't know anything about it. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us about this, right?" So she said she was gonna check it out and, you know, let me know. But I thought that the post office would tell all their employees. I guess they didn't want to, you know, let them know right away. But that being said, there's good news out of that case. It seems that the 3 officers that were left have been moved out, have been removed from the NYPD. I'm not quite sure what that means. They don't go into detail. They just said, "Oh, they've been removed." It's like, does that mean they've been sent home without pay, or they're no longer employees? What? But there'll be more further things coming along on that. I'm actually very glad that that whole issue is being addressed. So that's my little bit of happiness from last week's show.
Happiness because there's justice being served.
Yes, justice being served. And how about you? You got any Any things from last week that you want to review?
Do you remember what I talked about last week?
Yes, you talked about brains.
Which is what Ardail's going to be looking for after he comes back from the grave with
That's
chains
right.
clamped. And I don't know. Zombies usually don't have chains, right? It's usually the
Well,
ghost.
I was thinking of the ghost from like A Christmas Story, like
Uh,
Marley.
Still working on my brain. You know, right now I'm just trying to do damage control. I feel very chaotic as far as my schedule is concerned, and not that I don't know what's going to happen each day. I usually I keep track of my calendar. You know, thanks to innovations like this. For those of you who are just listening, I held up my phone, and I I know what I'm going to do today. It's just I feel like there's so many different things that I'm doing. I feel like I'm switching gears so much in like if I were driving a manual transmission, I'm switching gears so much that my clutch is really wearing out fast.
Just don't slide it into reverse, okay? While on the freeway.
No, my engine would fall out from underneath the car, right?
That's one possible thing that would happen. Um, so let's go on to the organic soapbox. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I've got a story that I came across on the organic that I thought would fit well in the organic soapbox, and it's about Whole Foods Market. You familiar with them, Charles?
Yes, I am. I love them.
Yeah, so you might even like this even more. Whole Foods is looking at starting a whole new chain of stores. They're going to be a little smaller and a little more affordable.
Good.
They're called yeah, good. They're called 365 by Whole Foods Market. Now, what's interesting is that when I brought this up to the producer, she pointed out that that was one of their brand products, 365. And it made me think, does that mean they're going to have nothing but 365 items in the store? You
That's what
know,
I thought. Yeah.
that's what came to mind for you too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe she has something there. We'll have to wait and see. But what they're saying is the newer low price grocery store. Um, they're betting on the fact that they're not going to have the full on deli. You know how you could go in there and actually place orders for food and stuff. So they're going to do away with that, but they're going to keep the self service section where they have like the salads and the pre-made things, and you just put it in the cup and you know take it to the register and pay. So they're going to keep that part,
Mhm.
and they're going to keep the meat department and the veggie department, and then have all the dry goods.
Okay. Sounds
That's how
good.
that's going. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to walking through the first one when they finally open one.
Do you know of any nearby that are opening?
Actually, no, I had not been able to find a list of where they're opening. I just found the initial story in an investment newspaper, and well, see, that shows how old I am because I know what a newspaper is. It was an investment website that was covering like potential business going on, and it's basically how that goes. So to let people know that I don't like segues, so you won't be seeing too many of them in this show. So there'll be a lot of jumping, so stay on that pony for longer than 7 seconds.
Alright. That made no sense.
That's a rodeo reference. See, that's how old I am. I know what a rodeo is.
All right. Rodeo.
Yeah, you gotta ride the bull for 7 seconds in order to win. So let's talk about YouTube. Alright, so there's a couple that I follow on YouTube. Well, I just recently started following them. I think they're very good. They have a lot of really good, solid information. And it's Natasha and Luca, the vegan couple. They're Australian, but I believe they're living in Southeast Asia. But they're Australian, and they do some really good videos about living the vegan life. They're yoga instructors, they're minimalists, they're into fitness, they're really healthy, and they got a lot of good solid background on stuff. Now, the reason I bring them up is to address something that's going on in YouTube and basically on the internet, and it's people who hate. And we've got a lot of people that complain about other people on YouTube channels. Well, it turns out there was another young lady who had done a video who's into health and everything, but she's not a vegan. But she's thinking about it. She's thought about it. She's not sure, and she basically did a video covering her like what she knows and what she'd like to know and things like that, because a lot of people had been asking her about becoming vegans, and she didn't really want to address it because she thought it would cause controversy. And personally, I don't think it causes controversy when you're admitting that you're not 100% sure and you need to do more investigation and you would like feedback and you are interested. To me, that there shouldn't be any controversy. Well, she did get feedback, and the feedback she got was positive, and it was from Natasha and Luca, the vegan couple. They had told her that she was along the right line. They pointed out the information that she had that was correct, and then they gave her some information to help shore up things that she had misunderstood or had misgivings on, in order to help her out. You might hear the dogs go crazy in a second because my mail person is showing up, and I believe she's got a package in her hand.
Are we going to do some more unboxing?
I have no idea. It's possible. So they commented on her video and gave her some very helpful information, and for some bizarre reason, she complained to YouTube and had their video taken down, because in her video, they play a little bit of her video. So like in their video, they play sections of her where she's asking questions or bringing up things, and then they're addressing that. So I liked that format because then it tells me exactly what it was she said, and then they're responding exactly to what she said. And at no time are they tearing her down or putting her down or making fun of her. I thought a lot of the information they gave was very helpful and very nice, but there have been people who've complained, and I think that it's really terrible when you have like two groups that are basically on the same side. You know, one's a little more to one side of that side than the other, but they're still fighting the same kind of battle. That they turn on each other, I
have a question.
Really outside people. Yeah.
It's unrelated to the subject, but it's related to the YouTube. Oh yeah, so it is related, but.
Okay, tell me this related question.
All right. So I think, and this, just clarify this. I think YouTube has a policy where you can actually get someone else's video taken off if they're showing your video, because it takes views away from your video. So I think maybe that was the reason why the video was taken down.
I'm not. I'll have to look into that. What she said was copyright violation. Now here's the thing: they didn't comment on this because they went to YouTube and they expressed their concerns, and they did not comment on the incident because it got taken down literally like hours after they put it up, so it wasn't even on for a whole day. So they're aware that she became aware of the video so quickly and had it taken down. So they sent a notice into YouTube to ask them about putting it back up. YouTube came back and said, yeah, fine, and put it back up. So obviously they looked at the video and they determined there was no copyright violation in it. They weren't playing her video. They, like the video in entirety. They just played like the various questions that she asked or the comments that she brought up, and all they did was responded to those comments, and never was it in a negative, like kind of like, oh, you're ridiculous, kind of way. They just, they said, it's really good that you want to get more education. This fact is, or this thing that you listed as a fact is not correct, and it should actually be, this. And, like, one of the things that she said was that cows, cows emit, I think she said nitrogen. I think it was.
Methane?
Don't quote me. Don't quote me on it. Yeah.
Methane.
Well, that's what they came back and corrected her on. They said that it's methane. I knew it was methane. I was trying to remember what she thought it was.
Okay.
They corrected her. They said, no, it's actually methane. And so, and it's like, why you want to get mad at that? Somebody's trying to help you out. You want to get mad at them. So, I'm, thinking, maybe I'll get some hate mail. It doesn't bother me. So
Ardail, yeah, it could say in your headstone now. Is like it was methane, not nitrogen.
Not nitrogen.
Don't hate me.
Don't hate me. Yeah. So anyhow, that's why I brought up Natasha and Luca. I think that people should actually maybe check out their channel. Good, healthy, vegan information. I've got a link that we'll be putting in the down belows or the up tops or to the sides or whatever it is you kids say these days.
Can I make a recommendation as well?
Yes, you can. That's what we're getting to, Charles.
Off Natasha and Luca.
Oh.
So they're kind of the vegan couple, and there's another one that I used to follow a lot, and they're raw vegan.
Uh-huh.
And so I can't remember his wife's name, but his name is Matt Monarch. I'm trying to remember because it was always Matt Monarch and da-da-da-da. I'm blanking on her name, but their YouTube channel is called the Raw Food World, and I followed them for a while. They've had a lot of really good products that I tried a few of.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I'll check out Natasha and Luca and see what their channel's all about, and I guess we can make a note in the show notes about the other one too as well.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think Natasha and Luca have talked a lot about I think it's called. I'll be corrected on this in about 1 second. Raw till 4. Yeah, Raw till 4, and it's. I don't know. I'm not a level 5. I'm not a level 5 vegan. That's all I gotta say.
You still eat things with shadows?
So, I'm working my way to level 5 one day. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie, Scott Pilgrim and his 7 Deadly Exes or something?
Oh, no, but I do know that. I wanted to see that.
I don't know if you read the graphic novel. I know it's based on one. I never did, but they're one of the exes is a vegan. Like he's a super vegan or something like that, and he has like superpowers because he's vegan.
I will have to check it out. I will have to actually watch that now. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I think it's worth checking out. I watched it recently.
Ah, good. Hey, so what do you have at the organic table for today?
Organic table?
Yeah.
Well, are we going into the healthy soapbox segment? Is that what we're saying?
Actually, no, it was just the segment that I was currently in, but if we move to the healthy soapbox, we can. So let's do that. Let's go to healthy soapbox. Okay, right. So this is the healthy soapbox segment, and sometimes when we do this show, I really feel, and I'm going to reference something that you will not even know.
Thank you for warning me ahead of time.
Just warning you ahead of time so people just go, why was he staring like that? When I was a kid, there was a series of movies where these kids would always get together and they'd try to figure out how to like save Old Man Johnson's farm or whatever, and they'd say, "Hey, let's put on a show," and throw a show in a barn, and all the people would come and they'd raise enough money, and you had like actors like Mickey Rooney in it, and things like that from so long ago. And sometimes I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a show in my dad's barn. It's like we're doing the show and like barnyard animals are appearing, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay, so back to the healthy soapbox. We're going to be talking about the healthy soapbox, where we talk, or actually I listen and learn from Charles about ways to stay, maintain, and be healthy.
Okay, well, I don't think I need to add anything to that intro. I can just jump into it. So I did mention the three subjects earlier, which was mobility, behavioral change, and chocolate. And hopefully that we can get into chocolate, because I know that there's a lot of people out there who love chocolate, who don't just love chocolate, they are addicted to chocolate and love being addicted to chocolate. So first of all, it was the mobility segment that I wanted to get in touch with. And there's a few things I actually have with me that I was going to show, and I'll describe them too for people who are just listening. And there was an article connected with this. And let's see here. It's a Huffington Post article. I'm just making sure I have. Well, it was featured on Huffington Post, but it's actually the Active Times. It showed originally in the website www.theactivetimes.com, and the information I'm well aware of. But if you want to read it and sort of kind of go through it in a more organized manner, there's some more details in it that cites certain studies and the conclusions of those studies. And yeah, there's some interesting things that they reference in the article itself. See, the title of it is "Sitting is the New Smoking: 7 Ways a Sedentary Lifestyle is Killing You." And one of the things that I don't like about some information that I receive is that it tends to be fear-based, which is one of the ways to motivate people, is like you tell them like, oh my God, the sky is falling and you have to go underground to save your soul. And in this case, this is kind of fear-based, and I will mention it anyways, though, because there's a lot of things a lot of opportunity for everyone to really make a change, because it's something that you wouldn't have expected to be, as detrimental to you. Let's see. I'm just gonna make sure I'm centered here in my video, and also to describe, because I'm going to be showing stuff, and I'm also going to describe stuff. So first of all, I am not really sitting. I mean, I am sitting, but actually, I'm sitting on this, and this helps me move around more. And I'm actually I'm on the floor. I'm not in a chair. And as Ardail kind of made fun of me before, I don't have a dresser of drawers that's taller than me, and I don't have like 20-foot ceilings. So that's probably makes sense if you're seeing the video right now. I'm not very high, but I sit on this rolly thing, and I also sit without a chair, so I'm not just slouched and in one position. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, that's okay too, as long as you kind of lean forward occasionally. Maybe bring your legs up a little bit to take the pressure off your lower back. So if you're sitting, this is your legs right here. You kind of like bring your legs up a little bit, and it takes pressure off your lower back. I know my hands aren't the best way to show that visually, but if you can imagine, like, doing a cannonball in your seat, and that's kind of how you would want to bring your legs up a little bit. It takes pressure off the lower back sometimes, and the only problem is the sedentariness of your body is equal to smoking, is because you're just not moving at all. Like, you're basically melting into the couch, and you're becoming a couch, and there's kind of things you can do to sort of like combat that sedentariness, and it'll help a lot of things actually. And so finding an original a new way to sit, or even on your chair, you can get like it's like half of an exercise ball, and you're constantly having to readjust or making sure you're in balance. and it helps you with your posture, etc. And so that's the encouraging side of this kind of more fear-based sitting is the new smoking title to immobility, which is very common amongst many people these days, especially office workers. And I have to do a lot of work in front of the computer as well. I'm just as guilty, and I just try to remedy the sitting environment I'm in, and also when I'm not doing something that involves sitting down, I try and make sure that I move, almost like I'm doing yoga, spot yoga. Like I'm just walking down the street, like, oh, I've got a yoga attack. I'm being attacked by the spirit of yoga. I have to do some stretches.
It's like yoga Tourette's.
So if you can think of it that way, don't be afraid to kind of just like roll your wrists, like if you're as you're walking, roll your wrists, or just like kind of move your hips side to side a little bit, like stop and like put your hands on your hips, like just like move your lumbar spine a little bit. And then, yeah, I think I can just show you a few things really quickly, and then I'll move on to the next thing. But there's these guys. You can kind of just strengthen your wrists to create more muscle tone and build a little more of the muscle around your wrists, which helps with stability.
Yeah, so, they help with the muscle around the wrists and also help with the forearm development. But be careful, don't overdo it. You will end up with Popeye arms.
Yeah. And then there's this one, which kind of looks like, I don't know, what does that look like, Ardail?
This is an adult show, so I don't know. Actually, family-oriented show, so maybe we should take that down. Now, it looks like a little stool for a very tiny piano player.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, so this, and then this one, which looks like a close-up of a virus or something. It's kind of this.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, and these kind of things, they push into those crusty parts of your body, which are kind of calcify if they don't move around enough. So this just breaks it up and gets your blood circulation moving, gets your lymph fluid moving, and yeah. So the blood vessels, the blood moves even if you're sitting down and melting into the couch. They move because they have.
I really would hope the blood would keep moving even if you're sitting down.
Yeah.
It's like the worst Keanu Reeves film. I gotta keep moving. If I stop, my blood will stop.
Yeah, I mean, your heart. Well, the thing is, with your lymph fluid, there's no heart. Your lymph fluid is just a series of vessels, and it moves because your lymph fluid is responsible for transporting immune cells. So it's essentially you need to move around so that your immune system is stronger. So that's why the subtopics that I included under mobility was walking, and it's there's a whole one of the notes that I wrote for it was we have compromised so many things evolutionarily speaking to be able to walk bipedally, and our hip size, the formation of our skulls before we're born, so that we can come out through a smaller pelvic cavity, and just being able to carry our weight with our ankles, our ankles and our feet adjusting so that we can actually walk and then carry all the weight above the ankles. And walking also, like I mentioned a second ago, since you're doing a lot of this up and down movement as you're walking, you're stimulating the lymph flow. And if you're walking outside, not just on a treadmill and staring at a screen or just staring at a wall in front of you, like that's only 2 feet away, if you're walking outside, you see close objects and you see objects from far away, and then that helps with your eyesight. So that close, far away is helping exercise the muscles in your eye so that you have more elasticity and you can refocus on your own versus having to use glasses. So that's kind of an indirect benefit that you get from walking aside from moving your body around. And then enjoying the bliss that is a yoga attack, or the spirit of yoga riveting through your body. Okay, what else was I going to talk about here? I'm just going back to the show notes. Let's
You
see.
get behavioral change, how to break some habits or create new habits, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, is there any habit that you want to break, Ardell?
I've got a lot of those that I want to break, but I can't really talk about those in public.
You can talk about it in public. Well, how about you think of one that it doesn't have to be yours, but can you think of one that most people want to break?
Well, let's see. Uh, one habit that most people would want to break.
Bad
I,
habit.
I feel like I'm on Family Feud right now. Name one thing that people would want to,
Well,
I don't know.
I'm
I could
not
add.
Steve Harvey, so I can't really do that.
Oh, of course not. You're not Steve Harvey. I pictured you more as the guy before him, the white English guy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a white English guy. That pretty
So
much makes
that
sense.
tells you how old I am. I was watching Family Feud before there was a Steve Harvey. Richard Dawson, who played on Hogan's Heroes, which is one of my favorite TV shows. I'm sad to say. Yes, I don't know why I liked a TV show about a prison camp during World War II. It's just so bizarre. So bizarre. So one bad habit is staying on course. That's a good one. Is how do I break that habit of being thrown off course? I can be easily distracted, Charles. I lose my focus, and you just never know when. Squirrel.
Okay, so focus. So lack of focus. Uh, you want to break the bad habit
Lack of
of
focus.
distraction.
Distraction. Yes.
All right. So that's pretty good. There's a lot of people who are, they want to make texting on your phone while walking illegal in most states. If it's come to that point where they have to make it illegal so you're not texting and walking down the street, then I think there's a big problem with people being distracted. There's a lot of sources that could potentially distract people from focusing on what's right in front of them, like maybe a car. All right, so basically, there's a lot of different ways you can approach this. The link that I added on here was the one of the links was the trans-theoretical model of behavioral change, and that's just a fancy name for what Dr. James Oprochaska came up with. And it's this theory that I've studied about how to make effective change, and it's used by Johnson & Johnson Corporation. It's used by the British healthcare system. It's used by many national agencies that combat addiction. So it's permeated a lot of areas where people want to either help people make beneficial lifestyle changes in their lives on a national scale and also within businesses. And I guess I'd have to say that if I were to just bottom line this before it gets too boring, because it definitely can get very wordy and the clinical psychology speak definitely gets in there and your eyes glaze over. I'd say think of what you want to change. So in this case with you, Ardail, it is distraction. Now you would think, all right, let me ask you this, Ardail. What would be the very next best step for you in your case of reaching a state of focus?
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
I was
No.
talking to you. Yeah.
No. What would be the next step? That's the thing. I don't know. What I generally do is I just try to make a greater effort to stay focused, and that seems to work against me.
Okay. So, I mean, what your initial response was that you said that you don't know,
That's
and
actually it. I don't know.
that's fine. And so that would be your next step, is to figure out what your next best step is. And you could define next best step as a very small increment, like just doing a Google search, or
I get it. I get it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's actually a good one. If you don't know, then find out. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Actually that would be good. Okay.
yeah. So I think that's the beauty of it, as far as making the behavioral change. The thing that I have to mention, obviously, is that you and I are talking to each other about this. So there's more than just one person involved. You weren't doing this by yourself. So I'd say that having someone else, it doesn't matter. Hopefully they're on your side and they're your ally. They're not someone who hates you. That's it's
We'll
someone
find
that.
out when we see the comments.
So you just find someone else that you can that is on your side, wants to help you get more focus, and then have them keep you accountable. So hey, I'm gonna do this, like some quick research, and can you like make sure you ask me about it, or keep me accountable to it, like next week or next time we talk. So that's what probably the bottom line of making sustainable behavioral change is having another human to help you. And there's many different other options, like as far as apps and wearable technology that you can use to help keep you on track. But as far as sustainable long-term change, another human is has been more, at least for now, has been shown to be more effective than having something else, like a spreadsheet or notes or something like that. Even just basically writing something down, it's helpful, but having another person to help you is really extends, and that's one of the things that this guy, Dr. James O. Prochaska, points to. Like groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, they're meeting together, support groups of all kinds. People are cancer survivors, etc. They meet together and they talk about it, and then they help each other out. So yeah, does that make sense, Ardail?
That makes a lot of sense, So let me ask you this. What if my problem was I can't stop eating chocolate?
I don't know. I think you're just you're in a state of bliss, and you should just appreciate what you have and just ride it until the wheels fall off. But yes, that is the next thing that I wanted to get into. So we talked about mobility first of all, then a little bit of behavioral change and how to keep that sustainable, and the last one is chocolate. Now I know you mentioned, Ardail, when I first talked about it, was that what did you say? You said that you couldn't have chocolate because you're diabetic.
Well, because of my inability to control my sugar, I try to avoid things like chocolate. But I got a feeling that what I'm thinking of as chocolate and what you're thinking of as chocolate are two different things. I think let me see if I got this, if I'm guessing right. When you say chocolate, you're thinking more of all natural chocolate. And when I'm thinking of chocolate, I'm thinking of chocolate with a colorful candy coating. Yeah, so I'm thinking M&Ms are not the kind of chocolate you're talking about.
Yep. So I mean, where do we start? I mean, El Natural.
Yes,
You
tell me
mentioned.
about the chocolate. What I want to know about is the chocolate that I can actually try or enjoy without, feeling horribly bad.
Okay. All right. So tell me about some of the chocolate that you do like, though.
Oh,
You,
the
you
chocolates,
mentioned.
yeah, like M&Ms, Reese's Pieces. Yeah, I know they don't have a lot of chocolate. They got a lot of peanut butter in them, and peanut butter is not necessarily good for you when you're diabetic. And then, this is kind of like asking somebody who's got a drug addiction. So tell me what kind of drugs you like. I like I like all the drugs that make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? But they're bad. They're bad for me. So that's kind of how I feel. So yeah, I just like I like chocolate. I hear it calling my name at night. So it's like it's hard to avoid. But I don't have any like the old classic brick chocolate that doesn't have somebody's name imprinted on it. That's comes. You know, everything I have looks like it came from the Waka factory. Okay.
All right, so you mentioned Reese's Pieces, and how much does that cost? Like like for a regular size, is that like $2, $1.69 or something?
But buy them? No, I don't buy this stuff. Are you crazy? I just go to like various dental offices and other places and just pick it out of the bowl that's in the front lobby.
Oh God, why do they have M&Ms in a dentist's office?
Well, they have them in the lobbies at LinkedIn. Okay.
Why do they have M&Ms at LinkedIn? Oh my God.
All those great Silicon Valley places. They have the snacky, foodie things right there, so that while you're waiting to speak to someone, you could just satisfy that need.
Does it help with concentration?
I don't know, what were we talking about?
Somebody get some candy to Ardail. Stat. A bowl of M&Ms. Just lean him back and pry his mouth open and dump him in. But take out the green ones. He doesn't like the green ones.
Oh no, I love the green ones. Now you've been in my dreams, my friend, in my dreams.
Wait, I've been in your dreams?
Well, obviously, you know that being in a chair and having M&Ms pour down my mouth. Yeah, you.
Sounds more like a Saturday morning cartoon, actually. But here we are. It's still Saturday morning, even though it's brunch. It's almost over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time I have left, but I'd say that I'll say one thing, that you mentioned Reese's Pieces. I'd say the equivalent to the Reese's Pieces in the kind of like the chocolate that I'm talking about is a brand called Lulu's, and it comes in kind of like a black package with red lettering on it, and and it's sort of like, I don't know, that, it's not too far off from the size of an iPhone. And then they have these what called buttercups, and the chocolate is raw chocolate. Hasn't put anything higher than through 118 degrees of processing cooking, and then it has low glycemic sweeteners in there, like date sugar, and then it has almond butter and maca in the middle. And then more of the date sugar or other sweeteners. It doesn't have to be date sugar. It might be palm sugar. And the maca, which has like kind of a butterscotch flavor to it, it's actually a root that comes from the Andes Mountains in South America. And then there's the almond, which, we know what almonds are. And it's just sort of almond butter. It gives a very creamy texture. And it tastes delicious. I'll have to get you some. And you can try them out and see if you like it.
Put the link on so that I could check it out, and I am looking forward to trying that. That does sound very delicious.
Sure.
Okay, so let's move on to the next segment, the news soapbox, which is kind of weird because it sounds like we were talking about news stuff earlier in the show. But that's okay.
Yeah, no, you were doing the follow-up from the postal office.
Yeah.
Guy that was arrested.
Okay, so have you seen the new Star Wars trailer?
I have.
You have? Yeah, there's a new Star Wars trailer. For those of you who don't know, it just dropped, as the kids say. It's called Star Wars Rogue One. So basically what's going to happen in this film, and for some people this may be a spoiler, okay? This may be a spoiler, and they're going, Ardail, how do you know? You haven't seen the movie. It's because that's my useless superhero power, to know the plots of films before they're ever out. And that's I'd be the worst Marvel character, I would be the guy on the Avengers that everybody says, hey, what should we go see? And I'd say, no, you don't want to see that one. Okay, so anyhow, this film, Star Wars Rogue One, it's going to cover the story of how the rebels got the plans to the Death Star in the fourth film. So this would be like a little segment that is not covered that actually occurs between the third film and the fourth film. The fourth film being A New Hope, where we first meet Luke Skywalker and he becomes a Jedi, and Leia's been captured. If you remember that film, the fourth film, at the beginning of that, Princess Leia has the plans to the Death Star that she hides in R2D2 to get them away from the Empire. But they never cover in the entire series how she got those plans in the first place. And somebody realized that and thought, we could actually do an entire movie on just that event that is an event that everyone knows, but no one knows anything about. They don't know what actually happened to get those plans. So that's basically what the film's going to be about. But I think that this brings up a whole new thing with Star Wars. There is a ton of material in Star Wars films that is not actually covered that they can then go back and make films about. Like, for example, you could do a film about Han Solo and why he had to dump Jabba the Hutt's cargo, so that he ended up on his bad list, So we finally get to see that story, or even a story about, like, say, the band at the cantina. I mean, they were really popular. I mean, you could do like a whole movie about like that band and who booked them at that event. I kind of see that one as being kind of a rom-com, but I'd watch it.
Oh God, this is getting very, what is it called? I don't know.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of good stories that can be covered that get their own little movies, and people watch them and they'll go, oh, so that's how he got there. Like, wouldn't you want to see a movie about how Lando Calrissian became the mayor of the Cloud City?
Shouldn't this be like a mini-series or something? It should be like a movie for each one of these.
Well, it could be a mini-series or at least one-off movies.
Oh, should have like Star Wars, the season series, behind the scenes.
Yeah, but if you do it that way, it ends up being like Game of Thrones.
Oh well, Game of Thrones is popular.
But it's so difficult to keep up with shows like Game of Thrones when there's too many of them on. And so in the news, the Panama Papers. You know about the Panama Papers, Charles?
Yep. All those conspiracy theorists' wet dreams have come true.
Now, I got to tell you, back in the 1970s, when somebody said Panama paper, they were talking about rolling something. But today, the Panama Papers, they've come out, and there are just a ton of people. For those of you who don't know what the Panama Papers are, we're going to throw a link in the show about it. But it's basically the notes from a series, either one bank or a series of banks in Panama, that has the information of who has accounts and money in those locations. So, like, they've found that, like, Jackie Chan has a hidden account.
Jackie Chan?
Yeah, Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Oh, that's hilarious.
And then you've got, like, world leaders like Putin. Well, actually, Putin's pretty smart, because what he did was he had, like, a friend set up an account.
Yeah.
And so it's under his friend's name. So he's going, like, what do you mean? That's not mine. That's my friend's.
Yes.
That's my friend's $1 billion, not my $1 billion. But you will remember to give me that $1 billion when I ask for it, right?
And when it comes to the media, if it isn't Putin's money, they don't care. Like, oh, whatever, it's his friend's money. And even if it's directly linked to Putin, as far as people's attention spans go when they're watching news in the media, they're like, hey, it wasn't Putin's money, it's his friend's money.
Yeah. But yeah, those notes have come out. Now the thing is, though, the reason they got leaked was, or how they got leaked was, there was a disgruntled employee who took the data and gave it out to the press. And what's really weird is when you look at those banks and people talk about going to those banks, they're always concerned about the security of those banks. Like, what is the security like? How can we make sure that our information is safe? And they're going, oh yes, we've introduced all these different security level systems that our network is completely uncrackable, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm going to get corrected on that because I always say it wrong. I always say that wrong. But you know, you cannot break into our system except for one small flaw. We have this like disgruntled employee flaw. just any employee that's upset can leave with all the documentation. I heard that even Sweden said that this is amazing because it's more documents than he leaked.
Wait, Snowden.
Snowden, yeah. Did I say Sweden? I'm renaming him. See, I'm so old that I thought when Snowden like came out, I thought it was like some new rock performer. You know, just like, who's this Snowden guy all you kids are talking about?
I don't watch American Idol. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't watch American Idol. But he's on tour in Russia.
Yeah, he's touring one place indefinitely. Yeah, I'm telling you, like this. All what is it? My friend, my former colleague, that I used to run a health forum with, he's friends with me on Facebook. He posted something, and it was like a fake news thing. It was saying like, the Panama Papers have been released. You know, we've discovered that a bear shits in the wood.
Now, why would that be in the Panama Papers? They don't have bears.
Yeah. Well, it's basically everyone knew this already, and it's sort of like, yeah, what else is new? Politicians are corrupt. They have their monies in shell companies, and they're trying to avoid paying taxes. Big surprise.
Well, yeah, it's something that everybody knows, but it's like one of those things where people go, oh, I know it's happening, but I really wish we could actually like have hardcore evidence that we could point at so that when they're going, no, that's not true, you could go, what about this? And then they go, oh, that. See, that's the part that we like, is the fact that we can just hold it up in their faces and you know, but then of course they can be like Donald Trump and just deny it no matter what. What about this video evidence, Mr. Trump? I don't remember any video. I wasn't there. I don't know that man. David Duke, never met him, never talked about him. On this recording, it says you're talking about David Duke. Never heard of him.
Oh, so you've gone bankrupt 7 times. I have never gone bankrupt.
Yes, I've never lost a dime. So anyhow, let's go on with further news. One thing that I really wanted to talk about that I'm actually impressed with is Tesla Motors.
Tesla Motors. Well, what on earth would you want to talk about with Tesla Motors? It's not like they've released a new car.
Yes, they have. They actually have released a car that people can afford. Actually, this is actually the brilliant part. This is great. They actually.
So wait. You mean I could drive in my affordable Tesla car to buy my affordable Whole Foods food?
Yeah, there you go.
What is this world coming to?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of the features that the Model S, which is their top model, currently has. So it'll have like a navigational self-driving kind of thing built in. Yeah. So I'm sure they'll put in like a quick button that you can just click and it drives you straight to the nearest 365 market. Just pre-programmed in. And what I really like about this whole thing with this car is that it hasn't been really built. I mean, they've got the prototypes and they're still doing testing, but the car actually has not been built. So what they've done is they've done pre-orders. And the amazing thing is that they have taken more pre-orders for the Tesla 3 than any pre-order of any device at any time. So there are more pre-orders for Tesla 3s than there have been for iPhones.
Wow.
You know, and even though the Tesla 3 is more affordable, it's still a lot more expensive than an iPhone. And I got to tell you, a lot of people pre-ordered their car, and I'm hoping that by using that information, showing how many people would like to have an affordable, quality electric car, that they'll be able to use that to help draw money into the company so that they could continue on.
Well, maybe this Panama paper development will help the people who've swindled us out of tax dollars get us a subsidy for everyone getting their own Tesla, so make it more affordable, so I can buy my expensive Whole Foods food.
There you go. Well, right now I believe there's okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm going to throw a number out that I think is correct. 5. Just throwing that number out there. No, I think there's like a $7,000 kickback from the government for buying an electric car. You know, so that would be nice too. But the car's supposed to be coming in around 30,000, and I know in some parts of the world, a lot of the world, $30,000 is a lot of freaking money. But when you look at cars in America, $30,000 for a car that runs on electricity is pretty freaking cheap.
Yep.
That is pretty freaking cheap.
I mean, in the first place, the reason why gas is so cheap and it's not as expensive as it is in Europe is because we highly subsidize oil. You know, it's really expensive without the subsidies that we have on oil to just drive a gas-driven car. So, I mean, we've still got to work on the coal plants powering all our electric grid.
Well, see, that's the thing with. I think that when you have more people driving electric cars, what will happen is more people will become what I consider electrical friendly, where they'll see, oh, hey, electric cars are pretty good. Maybe I should look into the solar thing, and they'll get solar panels. Because I got to tell you, the neighborhood I live in, like, we have solar panels, and I have people that ask me, so should I get solar panels? And I'm like going, what are you saying? Should I? Yes, you should, because they're going to lower your bills. Just your electric bill is going to go down. Your heating bill will probably go down. I mean, it's going to help you financially. And all they can think of is, yeah, but they're so expensive. It's like the government is helping with that. And you can go on a lease program or like one of those buy programs, but they're always working with you. But as more people get solar, that's where I think it's going to happen. Is you're going to end up with more people using solar. They're going to get more solar, so you'll see more solar in houses. And then Elon Musk, you know, his name makes me think of deodorant every time.
Yeah, it's the Musk.
Or, Elon Musk. Because back in the 70s, Musk fragrance was so popular. Everything was so, like Musk. So Elon Musk has this battery factory going, and people are going to be buying those batteries and putting those up in your house, because then you'll be able to draw from your solar panels. You'll be able to store your electricity, and then you'll be able to use your own electricity back at night, and then you could pretty much kill your electric bill altogether. So, or the electric company, not kill them. I didn't mean kill the electric company. I do not want groups coming to arrest me because I said, what I meant was do away with the need for your PG&E, possibly.
All right. Yeah, and then we'll invent time travel, and you can go back in time and tell yourself to say that you are not going to kill, or you should not kill, or say you should not say that you're going to kill. Don't
You,
kill. Ardell,
you know,
don't kill. It's just
you just
bad.
created a horrible time loop. You know that? Just go
The
back to
time
tell
travel,
myself not to say it.
no.
Go back to tell myself to not to not say it.
Okay. All right. Well,
Way to go,
it's
Marty McFly.
all right. It's the top of the hour, so I don't know if we want to transition into the end or
Yes,
if you
it
want.
is. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and transition to the end. Thank you for reminding me. I go off on tangents. Um, sorry, my eyes read slow. So, Charles, where can people find you?
Well, people can find me on Facebook. My Facebook page is called Healthy Charles. I'm also on Twitter at Charles E.J. Hall. That's E as in ear, Charles E.J. Hall. And the nonprofit that I'm a part of, you can also visit that website, and I'm listed in the team if you want to read a little bit of my bio, or you can just go, to soapbox.show, which I'm sure Ardail was going to mention, and that's where a picture of me and a little kind of sentence about me is there, but a little more about my background is and my credentials, if you're interested in that, is at wholebrainhealth.org, all spelled out how you would expect. Whole is spelled with a W, W-H-O-L-E, wholebrainhealth.org.
Great, that's great. And like Charles said, I'm Ardail Smith, and I'm Ardail Smith. There you go. That's better for.
Ardell means great
I'm
leader, and Smith
yeah,
means captured on the beach.
that's right. Captured on the beach. Actually, Smith means you won a free trip, is what it meant. So I have a blog that I'm developing. That's it's on soapbox.show, so you can read that, or you can visit me on Facebook at Ardail Smith Soapbox, where I will have things regarding soapbox and stand-up comedy. Some people will go, "Oh, you do stand-up comedy? We didn't know that." Thing to know. Another black comedian.
He must be funny.
Yeah, or you can follow me on Twitter at Ardail Smith. That's Ardail, Ardail Smith. And also, you can find me on about.me/Ardail, where you can find all there is to know in the world about me. So, we've got a Patreon page coming. It'll be coming soon. We'll let you know about that. And I'm trying to see the screen over here. Unfortunately, I can't. Our email, which is very important, is feedback@soapbox.show. That's feedback@soapbox.show. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 650-273-7627. That's 650-273-SOAP. And visit our website at soapbox.show. We want to hear from you. We will answer your questions and have a good time. Until next week, stay safe, everybody.
All right. Bye.